Okay? So numerical expression is a set of numerical values. Numerical values might be variables, might be numbers, whatever. So when I say numerical values, it's not just numbers. So set of numerical values that are added or subtracted to each other. Sometimes called terms. And we'll talk about that in the next section. But very simply, just so we understand, it's just a whole bunch of things that are added and subtracted to each other. So if I gave you an expression and I said to simplify the expression, what am I talking about? Well, you want to write in such a way that all the like terms, and I think you guys know what like means, are added and subtracted. And ladies and gentlemen, you all know what like terms are, yes? Okay. In the next section, we'll talk about like terms a little bit more when we go into combining them, but I think you guys have heard the expression like terms before. Okay. So that's an expression. So what's an equation? Anybody want to try that one? Yep.
Is it something with an equal sign?
Yes. Okay, but what are... Natalie, you're absolutely correct. It has an equal sign. But what's equal?
The numbers.
Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, the two numerical expressions. Gotta spell it right, Richards. Expressions that are equal to each other. So if we have two numerical expressions that are equal to each other, then we have an equation. Very nice, thank you. For instance, 5x plus 2 equals 3x minus 12. There is an equation. Each of these is an expression. So when we have two expressions equal to each other, we have an equation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment of truth. What does it mean to solve an equation? If I gave you 5x plus 2 equals 3x minus 12 and said solve it, what am I asking you to do?
You're asking us to simplify it.
Say it again, Les. You got a little gurgled there.
Sorry. You're asking us to simplify it.
Les, I'm dying there. Just say it. Don't hold the mic up. Let's see what happens. Try one more time.
Okay. You are asking us to simplify it.
Oh, but we simplify expressions. We solve equations. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Simplify means to combine the like terms such so that they're all added and subtracted. What does solve mean?
Does it mean to get it like by itself?
Get what by itself?
Get x by itself?
Get x by itself. We want to get x by itself. Why?
So that's not so complicated, I guess.
So we're going to rewrite it so that we can find the value of x, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so when I say to solve it, how do you know that it solved them? That's good. How do you know that an equation is solved?
You can find not equal the same.
So, she said you need to find a value for x. Hold on, let's write this down. Find a value for, I'm going to write the variable. Now, what do you know about that value?
It gets both sides to equal the same thing.
Oh, so that both sides have the same value. So we need to find a value for the variable such that it makes it a true statement. Find the value of the variable such that it makes it a true statement. And that is absolutely correct. You can't just randomly pick a, you can't just get x by itself. X equals 32. It must make it a true statement. Is everybody okay with that? And ladies and gentlemen, the reason I put emphasis on this is because I'm gonna ask you this question umpteen times this year. You'll hear it at least 50 times. You need to find, because we're gonna solve a ton of equations. And you know that they're solved if the value makes it a true statement. Okay? So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're going to look at simplifying numerical expressions. I just want you guys, you've heard the term order of operations, yes? Yeah? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to use the order of operations to simplify numerical expressions. There's no variables in here. We're going to do some problems together. I'm going to give you guys time to do some on your own, and then we're going to come back on Monday and do ones in the calculator. Gabish? Here we go. So ladies and gentlemen, the first one that we have is -3 squared. What's -3 squared? Oh, no calculators. Who got it? Abby, go ahead, tell me. 9. How did you get that?
-3 times -3 makes it a positive, so it's not.
There. Excellent. Thank you, Abby. She said, look, the negative is, everybody understands that this exponent tells you how many times you multiply the base by itself. So this says, since the -3 is in parentheses, we're going to multiply -3 times -3, which gives us a +9, which is absolutely correct. And ladies and gentlemen, at any point in time that you have a question about what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, just feel free to yell out to me or chat, put something in the chat room and say, hey, better explanation or something, just so I know, okay? Number 2, go ahead, try number 2, see what you guys get. I'll give you about 15 seconds here. Okay, Abby, going for the daily double. What is it?
-4.
It's -4. For the same reason, ladies and gentlemen, this negative out front is done after we square it. So this is negative, basically, -2 times -2. And -2 times -2 is 4, but then we must take the negation of that because of this negative sign that's out front. So we get -4. Okay. Number 3. Go ahead. You got 20 seconds. Ready, go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, please type in your answer. Don't hit enter yet. Everybody type in what you got. Now, before you hit enter, I just want to tell you guys this, okay? Thinking wrong is okay. Not thinking is not okay. And you're like, what are you talking about, Richards? I want you to parallel it to the weight room. If you go up into the weight room and you lift the weights the wrong way, do you still get stronger? Yes, maybe not as strong as you could have gotten, but you still get stronger even though you lifted the weights in the incorrect form. Now, what happens if you go to the weight room and you sit on the end of the bench and you don't lift at all? Do you get any stronger just because you're there? No. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't be afraid to be wrong. It's okay. In fact, if you weren't wrong sometimes, then you wouldn't get any better. I wouldn't have been challenging you to think and to increase your intellect. Okay? So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, you ready? Enter. Oh, you guys make me so happy. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to compare this first problem to -9 squared. In this case, because the negative was in the quantity, we had to square the negative. In this case, the negative is not being squared. Only the 9 is being squared. So this is actually -9 times 9. And 9 times 9 is 81, but then we have to bring down our negative. So this one is -81. Does that make sense? Do you have your calculators with you? If you know what, if you have your calculator, great. If you don't, that's okay. In your calculator, I would like you to put this in parentheses -3 squared, enter, and then put -3 squared, enter, and see what you get. Do you guys see they're different? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richards' words of wisdom. Anytime you put a negative number in your calculator, put it in parentheses. Are we all good? All right. I am going to put you in breakout rooms. I want you guys to work together on numbers 4, 5, and 6. For the first one, for number 4, we have to do the exponent first. So this negative just gets brought down, and then we do -3 squared, which we've learned is 9. Then we bring this negative down, and we do -4 squared, which we've learned to do is 16. So you get -9 minus 16. Now, I know this looks like you're subtracting, but you're actually not. Because both values are negative, we add these two together. 9 and 16 is 25, but since they're both negative, we end up with -25. Further explanation, anyone? Wonderful. Let's go on. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, is... The reason I gave you this one is because I want you to understand not only does this fraction bar mean to divide, but it also is a grouping symbol. Although we don't write these in parentheses, it's understood that you have to simplify the numerator, simplify the denominator, and then divide. So 2 cubed is 8 minus 7, and 2 times 3 is 6. So we simplify the top and we get 1, the bottom is 6, we end up with 1/6. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, again, we have to do the exponents first. So the -4 just gets brought down all by itself. -2 squared we've learned is 4. Negative gets brought down. -1 to the 5th. Anytime you have an odd number of negative values multiplied by each other, it's negative. And 1 to the 5th power would be, not 5, Richards, 1. So negative 1 times itself 5 times is just negative 1. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, now you have to multiply. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. Negative minus a negative 1. Hopefully you guys remember this. Negative subtraction means to add the opposite. So this would actually be plus a positive 1. So this is plus 1, and we end up with negative 15. It's a key that looks like this. It's down the right-hand side of your calculator. It says clear. So we got negative 5 parentheses, alpha y equals parentheses negative 2, and then we're going to hit that caret key. And when you hit the caret key, it moves it up so that you can put in an exponent. So we'll put in now 3. And then hit the right key. There's little arrows up here at the top. Hit the one that goes to the right, and it'll bring your cursor back down. And then if you hit the down key, we can put in
Can
negative.
you slow down for a second because mine
Yep.
had to clear because you didn't say close the parentheses.
Awesome. Yep. Thank you for yelling at me.
I cannot access my downloaded version.
Okay. Can you get a calculator, or would you like one?
What?
Okay, if you
I don't know what you mean.
if you can't use the one in your computer, then you either have to get one or borrow one. Do you have a preference? Everybody okay? Everybody caught up? Type in yes if you are caught up. Oops, sorry.
Can you show what we're supposed to have on our text?
You want to see it again?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're caught up, please type in yes so I can check you out. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Which key is after the alpha key? I can't find it. It says y equals. The after alpha is this y equals key right here. It's going to allow you to put in fractions. All right. Okay, after we do that, let's do close parentheses again. Oh, no, don't do close parentheses. Go ahead and hit the back key, which will be fine, and put in plus 6. Then close parentheses. So it should look like that. Okay, go ahead, hit enter. I can't understand you. It's
I got the online calculator to work.
Perfect. What'd you guys hit when you got enter? Just leave it as a fraction. Since the problem has fractions in it, you want to give your answer as a fraction. Can you type it in? Bum, bum, bum. Okay, here we go. I got negative 65 over 2. Is that what you got? Sweet. Very nice. Okay, can we move on? If we can't say, just yell at me, say, wait a minute. If I don't hear it, I'm going to go on, okay? All right, here we go. Put number 8 in your calculator and let's see what you guys can do. Remember the difference between negatives and minuses, okay? There's only one minus. There's 3 negatives. Notice that the negatives are small and they're not in the middle, they're up a little bit. And the minuses are longer, a minus sign is longer, and it's right in the middle. You want to see it again? Sorry. La, la, la. We good? Okay, what did you guys get for an answer? Type it in for me and hit enter. Go. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you should have gotten 339. Once again, there is no divided by sign in here. If you, let me see. If you did not get 339, go ahead and put this in your calculator. I'll walk you through it. Negative, parentheses, negative 7, close parentheses, caret 3, right arrow, minus, parentheses, negative 2, close parentheses. Now, ladies and gentlemen, rather than using the caret to do squared for the next one, down the left-hand side of your calculator, there is an x squared key. You can just hit that key right there, and it will give you the squared. So you don't have to do caret if you want to do squared. And then hit enter. And you should get 339. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, another word of wisdom to you, and I can't stress this enough. When you put a negative number in your calculator, make sure that you put it in parentheses. Anytime you have a negative number, put it in parentheses, because your calculator recognizes it differently than when you put in a positive number. And if you use an exponent, you want to make sure, especially that you have it in parentheses. Anytime we have a negative number, put it in parentheses. And that's a negative number, not a minus, but negative. All right, you guys are on the hook. Number 9. Put it in your calculator as it is written, please. And when you get your answer, put it in the calculator. Enter. Sweet. You got it. It's 3. Very nice. Okay. Can I go on? Any questions? Okay. 15 is next. Or no, not 15. 10 is next. It has a 15 in it. The number at the end is -1, not -1. It's -1. Yeah, now. Very nice. 990. Very good. Okay. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to do the challenge, but I do not want you to do it in your calculator. Please do it by hand and do the steps. And remember the order of operations. You guys have used this PEMDAS or, I don't know, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, whatever method that you guys have used to remember order of operations, please use those in this problem and do it one step at a time. Ready, go. Okay, so to begin with, I would do what's in parentheses. So this is 8 divided by 2 times 4. And ladies and gentlemen, remember, multiplication and division, neither one are above the other on the hierarchy, so we just move left to right. So we would do 8 divided by 2 next, which would be 4, and then 4 times 4 is 16. Everybody all right? Just a little something to look at. Okay, so what I would like you to do is on the next page,